A splint is a device used externally to immobilize a painful, swollen, or deformed limb in order to decrease pain and prevent further injury. In most cases, splinting an injured body part is best accomplished by EMS. In cases where EMS response is significantly delayed or not available, it could be appropriate for you to splint an injured limb. Splints can be improvised with commonly available items. Something rigid to provide external stability. Things such as another part of the body, compressed pillow, cardboard, folded magazine, and wood slat. Something soft to fill and support the contoured gaps around joints and bony ridges. Things such as pads, towels, coats, pillows, and blankets. Something to bind the limb, rigid material, and padding together. Things such as roller bandage, folded cloth bandages, tape, belts, and rope. Commercial splints are available to make splinting more convenient. This includes cardboard splints, padded board splints, and malleable splints. The basic rules to follow when splinting are: carefully remove any jewelry or watches. Splint the limb in the position found. In addition to immobilizing the injury site, immobilize the joints above and below the injury. After splinting, check frequently for discoloration, coolness, or numbness in the hand or foot. If necessary, loosen the splint to improve blood flow. Before applying a splint, provide manual stabilization until the splint is applied. Expose the injured limb to see if there are any open wounds. Locate and gather the splinting materials you will use. Place padding on the rigid material where tapered surfaces of the limb, like around joints, will be placed. Place the rigid material alongside or underneath the injured limb, making sure it extends beyond the joints above and below. Bind the rigid material firmly to the limb. Do not bind the limb over the injury site. Wrap both sides of a joint to immobilize the joint. Allow the hand or foot to assume a natural position. Secure the material tightly enough to provide immobilization, but not tight enough to restrict blood circulation. When a joint cannot be immobilized with the rigid material, you can immobilize it against another body part, such as using a sling and swath wrap to immobilize the elbow to the torso. A malleable splint is designed for easy storage. When needed, it can easily be molded and shaped to create rigid and stable splinting material. A malleable splint is typically padded for comfort. Cupping or curving it along its length will stiffen the normally flexible splint. The greater the curve, the more rigid the splint becomes. Shape the splint to match the contours of the limb. Once rigid and shaped, the splint can be secured in place like any other rigid splinting material. The versatile nature of a malleable splint allows it to be used for many applications.